Yes, thank you very much, Nate. And as a programming note, we are in Earth Action Week here at the Weather Network, and you'll see more great stories like that for Earth Action Week right here on the Weather Network. Let's get into your forecast details. Ensued, and it was captured on cell phone video there. Let's take a look at our forecast conditions. We've got some showers, maybe a few rumbles of thunder. With more details and to go outside first, here's Kevin Yard. Yes, thank you, Kevin. We'll get to the maps because we've drawn this up to show you that through this afternoon, through the evening, there's potential for some rumbles of thunder embedded within. So it's not going to be isolated storms. It's going to be more rumbles of thunder that you'll hear. I think that the better chance of isolated weather. But yes, Kevin was alluding to the 15 to 35 millimeter rain range, and that includes Montreal, north of that through the Laurentians, Ottawa Valley, up toward northeastern Ontario, Toronto and southwest, 5 to 15 millimeters of rain. This is the pattern that we have this week, where it's cooler in the east and it's been warm in the west. However, some changes are coming. They'll start to change up a little bit. Brisk and cool, some occasional showers expected Tuesday, Wednesday likely seeing the tail end of that, and then making way for some much cooler single-digit highs. I'm Sheryl Plouffe with your weather update. Expect the winds to be a little bit brisk today, and some showers are with us the next few days, so get your umbrellas handy because you're going to need them. Let's take a look at our must-see video. One is dealing with a drought, and a lot of the officials there and the firefighters were saying had it not been for that drought, maybe that would have turned out a little bit differently, but 300 homes were threatened by that wildfire. Let's turn it over to Chrissy. She's outdoors dealing with the rain and the showers and the winds. It's a great initiative, no question. Never thought about taking advantage of all that fruit that otherwise would just go bad, right? Let's take a look at our thunderstorm risk. It's throughout southern Ontario today, possibly some embedded rumbles of thunder. Likely the best chance for severe weather would be stateside, in fact, south of Lake Erie. But when we talk about the winds, and Chrissy was just alluding to that, yeah, some strong winds coming in with this, and then it starts to ease up a little bit for us, more so in the midweek. But I think tomorrow is still going to be a little bit of a brisk day, and the temperatures are declining. Right now we're in the warm sector, so the temperatures are definitely going down. In fact, we're looking at single-digit highs for the bulk of the week ahead after today's double-digit values. What we've got is a low-pressure system. In fact, there's even some snow on the backside of it. Thank you very much for that, Nate. Let's get into your forecast conditions and our must-see video. This from New Brunswick is a local state of emergency in Perth Andover, which is the western northern portions of New Brunswick. The St. John River, its tributaries are all to some degree dealing with that. What we are dealing with is something entirely different. Let's turn it over to Kevin outside. Thanks very much, Kevin. Yes, some big puddles. We've got some ponding potential over the next few days as the rain continues. We in the GTA are not expected to see quite as much as areas to the east. Kingston, Ottawa, Montreal, and up toward northeastern Ontario. In fact, on the backside of this low-pressure system, there's even some snowfall. We've got cold conditions across the Great Lakes. Today in Winnipeg, registering a wind chill, in fact, of -3, just to give us some perspective. So we have some cooler air on the way. Single-digit highs expected, certainly through Thursday. Some sun and cloud by then. The showers will have moved away, but we expect a transition, especially when it comes to temperatures this week, because right now we're really getting into some cooler air for the bulk of the week ahead. The must-see video, though, is from New Brunswick. So if you have so powerful as it can take out bridges, it can take out structures, it can result in flooding, and we'll have to just wait and see whether or not we see another surge of flooding or ice jams as a result of that ice moving down the St. John River in New Brunswick. But for us, it's all about the rain and the wind right now. Let's turn it over to Chrissy outside. It's a great idea. There's no question. Thank you so much for that, Chrissy. We do have the risk of some thunderstorms this afternoon and through the evening. Again, just some isolated rumbles of thunder embedded within the rain that's coming through. There will be a sizable amount of rain, especially to the east of Toronto, up into Kingston, North Bay, Ottawa, Montreal, through the Laurentians, southern Quebec, and back into northern Ontario, 15 to 35 millimeters with those southerly winds. The cold front comes through and it does bring down our temperatures. Tomorrow's high sits at around 9 degrees versus 13 today. So really this warm sector is moving away, and behind it tapping into some cooler air that's coming in from the north and west. We look at the larger picture and we can see that this is a low pressure system that wants to hang around, so it stays put and it brings us some cool temperatures. And in Squamish, there was a little bit of a scare. And actually, some people even recorded it on their cell phone. And people in Squamish were the witness to that, and they heard what sounded pretty frightening and probably unlike anything anyone's ever heard before. But when we look at our thunderstorm risk across southern Ontario today, thunderstorms embedded within the rain shield. Rainfall, well, I think that the highest totals of rain will certainly be had to our east. But we have to be mindful that there are a lot of people who travel on the 401. So further to the east, like Kingston, Ottawa, Montreal, we're going to get a lot of rainfall. And it's cool rain, too. This week, we've got some cool air pooled up here. And it's not until the beginning of May that we're likely to see a change of pattern. This is how we break it down through Tuesday with our highlights. So brisk winds still very much similar to today, in fact, but much cooler. Hope you've got your umbrellas handy and your rubber boots too. You're going to need them because we have some showers in the forecast and also some brisk winds. More details on your forecast in just a moment, though. Into the St. John River also, at least most of them are dealing with ice jams to some degree, and the residents there a little bit on edge. Perth and over New Brunswick is under a local state of emergency as a result of that. Let's turn it over to our forecast, though, and to do that, let's check in outside with Chrissy Van. It is, and that's because we will no longer be in the warm sector as we are today. Risk of thunderstorms, non-severe. The severity is likely more so in the U.S. today, so we'll see whether or not we get some big storms, say, down toward Cleveland. But for the most part, it's all about rainfall, including in the GTA and Southwest, but higher totals of rain as you move east of the city and up into northeastern Ontario. In fact, on the backside of this low-pressure system, there's even some snowfall expected, some mixing in Thunder Bay, Winnipeg getting snow and wind chills registering in Winnipeg today at -3. So we do have some cold air factoring into all of this. The winds have been brisk. We'll likely see slightly windy day tomorrow, and then Wednesday it should all start to ease. But as Chrissy was mentioning, we are going to be seeing a cool down big time. In fact, by Thursday, daytime highs in Toronto will probably be around 5 degrees. Right now we have a blocking pattern going on across the east of the country, but this low pressure system is slow to move away.
Nice to have you along on this Monday. It's Sheryl and Jacqueline, and with you, the coast-to-coast swing. Well, thunderstorm risk today continues in Ontario. Should be non-severe, but Sheryl, boy, the east really has that short end of the stick, shall we say.
Yeah, it does. I mean, look at the temperatures here from Sunday. This does not look like spring. Wind chills even in some places across the country. But yeah, that north wind has been very, very bitter in the east.
Meanwhile, if you're on the other side of the jet stream under this ridge of high pressure you have, which is about an hour in perspective. But hey, I'm not going to get down on myself. No, it looks like a lot of fun, actually great conditions. And I actually did do a run yesterday. I did a half marathon in Uxbridge, Ontario. And boy, were the winds strong.
Yeah, but it was hilly.
It was hilly.
That makes a huge difference.
Big time. Thanks for making me feel better. My time wasn't exactly
where. Your time was great.
Thanks.
You finished it.
Yes.
Forecast this afternoon. Look at the temperatures here in Southwest BC. Looking great. Let's hop over and check in with Deb right.
All right, NHL time. So tonight, Winnipeg has a game against the Anaheim Ducks, the California team. That's funny to me because it's only going to be 3, feeling like -3, and it's going to be snowing. So we have that typical Canadian stereotype, right? Oh, well, we'll just go home to our igloos and watch the snow flurries.
And everyone's dressing in white.
Yeah.
Right, to simulate like the, snow squalls. And
right.
So
only
winter
in Canada.
Conditions, exactly, only in Canada. Let's take a look at what's happening with our temperature contrast, because that's exactly what's happening. We've got the warmth in the west.
The conditions will just be a little unsettled over the next few days. Rain, windy, kind of fall-like, really, Sheryl.
Yeah, and on the backside of this low pressure system in the northwest, some snowfall. We have potential for some rumbles of thunder amidst the rain and thunderstorm risk across southern Ontario today, but this low is likely to stick around for about 2 or 3 days.